I'm Eric Hale, the Executive Principal for the Academies of Bryan Station High School. It's critical that we take action in order to address the implicit biases that we have subconsciously. Our work that we have done here at the Academies of Bryan Station High School has been a continuous growth and training with Dr. Nelson and her leadership and design around us addressing our implicit biases and our culturally responsive work with our staff.
Taking the Harvard IAT test made me realize how an implicit bias could affect the relationship with a student. This, of course, in turn could cause a student to perform poorly in the classroom. The biggest impact that the discussion with Dr. Nelson had on me is realizing that we all do not see students through the same lens. The impact that the discussions around CRTL with my SLC was the team agreeing that the well-being of the student is priority number one.
We have worked really hard in our academy to create an environment of trust and honesty, and that's the kind of environment that you need to be able to have tough conversations about things like our personal bias or areas in which we feel like we may have a shortcoming as an instructor. And so by creating that trust and creating that sense of community, we can talk with each other honestly about our teaching practices, and it's not so much a gotcha or a here's what you're doing wrong. It's more of a peer support system, and in the end, it makes us all better teachers.
As a result of the IAT, we put a lot of work in as a school, as an administration, and as a staff. Our work with Dr. Nelson had begun. We also worked on creating an implicit bias definition as a school that regardless of being, what faculty or staff responsibilities that you have here at the Academies of Bryan Station, it's for all of us, the implicit bias definition that we have. Additionally, our admin team worked in SLCs to look at some critical questions as it relates to implicit bias and the CRTL work that we have put in order for us to plan as we move forward here at the Academies of Bryan Station High School.
After learning about our implicit bias, we knew we wanted to take some practical steps in the classroom to address these biases. And so we decided to do a book study on Christopher Emdin's For White Folks Who Teach in the Hood, and the rest of you all too. Now, as just one of our professional development goals this year, the book study was optional. We've had a great turnout so far, and we know that with a strong core of teachers who've been thinking through these issues, those ideas will quickly spread throughout the rest of our staff and even beyond to our students. And I think what's great about the book study is that it's been designed in a way that we are all open to honest dialogue. Everyone is welcome and everyone's voice is listened to. And really, we're just using the text to learn more and more from each other.
I think this was a great book for our staff to engage in. I was really excited to hear that we were reading this. I think we'll give our staff a chance to have conversations around implicit bias, racial attitudes, stereotypes, the school to prison pipeline, and just issues that our minority students or our students of color experience that their white classmates do not.
So our overall school goals, I think, we always want to seek to be inclusive. And, that's one of our big rocks is to create that culture of inclusivity. And, I think we can check off boxes and we can go to trainings and sometimes we can really buy into those, and other times we maybe just let it go one ear and out the other. But, this was by choice that the people are reading this book at our school and attending these discussions. So I think what it means for our culture is that we are providing multiple ways for them to explore their own biases, implicit or otherwise, and to do it in a way that is not judgmental or seeking an agenda.
So next steps for the Academies of Bryan Station High School. I think it's critical for all of us to recognize that talk is cheap and that our actions and decisions are a reflection of our awareness in creating a culture and an atmosphere where we absolutely mean it when we talk about equity, and when we talk about opportunity and access, and we talk about CRTL, and we discuss implicit bias. It's important for us to consider this information, and to look at institutional decisions that we have to make as a school.